What's up, guys, and welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. We've got an updated Bujin deck profile for you today. If you happen to see the last one that was posted, it was a Black Garden build where the idea was to play Black Garden, summon a bunch of stuff, give your opponent a bunch of tokens, then use Susanoo to attack them all, and do OTK damage essentially. It was really glass cannony, easy to shut down, wasn't easy to pull off, but it was like the most fun way to play the deck at the time. Since then, we've got Tori Foon here in the US. Or in the TCG rather. Lots of cool things you can do. The deck is, I would say, at an all-time high power level, even compared to like when it was able to top. I think the reason it was able to top was because other things just weren't as good, and not because it was really good, but it was good at what it did. Now it doesn't do what it did anymore. It's more of a spam deck than a Protect the Castle deck. But still a whole lot of fun to play. Still my favorite deck. So I want to show you guys the build I'm working with right now. Our first new support, probably the most important piece of the deck right now, Bujin Tori Foon, essentially is a rescue rabbit. Summon it, you contribute it to special summon a Bujin and then a Bujingi from your deck. So a Beast Warrior plus like one of your beasts or wing beasts. And then from there, you're probably going to Xyz summon with them. So you're probably going to either link summon a Hashima or Xyz summon one of your Bujin Tai, so like Susanoo, Tsukiyomi, something like that. Also, when it's in the graveyard, if you Xyz summon a Bujin, it can attach it to that Bujin. Attach itself to that Bujin as like a equip spell, and then every time that Bujin destroys a monster on your opponent's side of the field, it banishes it. So that on like a Susanoo can just wipe boards and then not give any type of graveyard effects or recursion or anything. So kind of handy. Not super, like, it doesn't turn up a whole lot, that effect, but when it does, it's really cool. Then we got Mahitatsu, the only other 3 of in the monster lineup here. Also the only other new card. So we got pretty much play extension. So you can special summon it from your hand by discarding a different Bujin from your hand, so it gives you that graveyard setup, assuming you have the right cards in your hand. When it's on the field, you can discard one to add one from the graveyard back to the hand, or you can banish one from your graveyard to send one from your deck to the graveyard. So you could banish like an unused one of the other Beast Warriors, Tori Foon, one of the other ones you're about to see, to set up the graveyard with like Hare, Turtle, Centipede, Quillen. Or you can get like a Crane back to your hand, or one of your Beast Warriors that you need for a play on your next turn or the current turn. We play 2 Haruko, the Pendulum. This is pretty much only here for a rank up. You're almost never going to summon this thing unless you absolutely have to get a body on board. When you play it in a Pendulum Zone, you can banish it from that Pendulum Zone to rank up one of your Bujin Xyz. Typically, what I end up doing is summon a Susanoo, search this guy, activate this guy, rank up Susanoo onto Amaterasu detach to special summon either this guy back or some other monster that was banished, and then continue your play from there. Kind of just like combos really hard if you got the right setup. We got 2 Harume, another combo piece. You can banish one to special summon it from your hand. It can't be normal summoned. This one is, like I said, just a combo piece, just a play extender, and then it kind of also creates opportunities for you to use the Arasuda. You could bump Arasuda to 2 just because banish effects will happen outside of Harume. I just prefer to use it off of a Harume, or just like by happenstance, rather than trying to set up a play where I need to get this into my hand, because it's not really good outside of being able to use its effect. But basically what it does, if a Bujin is banished, it special summons itself from the hand. So like just a free body, free material for Xyz or link summoning. Last 2 Beast Warriors, we got the 1 Mikazuchi and we got the 1 Yamato. We'll put him right in the middle because he's the boy. Mikazuchi is probably a little bit more useful at this point than Yamato. I couldn't bring it myself to cut Yamato from the deck. He's just the king of the Bujins. You got to have him. Pretty much what he does during the end phase, you can add a Bujin from your deck to your hand, and then you have to discard a card from your hand. So it just kind of like searches a combo piece or lets you get something from your hand in the graveyard that you need in the graveyard. Pretty slow, pretty not useful these days. As far as the Mikazuchi goes, when a Beast Warrior, Bujin Beast Warrior you can control gets destroyed, it can summon itself on the field in its place. Also, if you discarded a Bujin this turn, so like off of Mahitatsu, discarded a Crane. It can search a Bujin, spell a trap, and put it in your hand. The only one we play is Bujin Carnation, but it's the best one, so if you end up getting to resolve it, awesome. Get to use it. It's a good card. For the Bujingis, we got one hair. It can banish itself from the graveyard to protect one of your Bujins from being destroyed. The one turtle, banish itself from the graveyard to negate a targeting effect that targets one of your Bujins. Bujingi Quillen, you can banish him from the graveyard to destroy a face-up card your opponent controls. So it could be spell, trap, monster, anything like that. Super versatile, so you can either try to get rid of a monster that's giving you trouble, or more often than not, I end up finding a way to put this in the graveyard off of an effect in order to pop like a field spell that's giving me trouble, or like a floodgate in the back row or something. Centipede also, for that same reason, you can banish it to pop a spell or trap. Kind of similar to Quillen, it just doesn't let you pop monsters. And then 2 Crane. I was playing 1 Crane and 2 Honest. The Honest was just kind of unreliable because you would see it when you didn't want it. There's no way to search it. There's nothing you can do with it outside of it just being like, make your monsters big. So I just cut the Honest, played the extra Crane. You can summon it off of the Torifun for Xyz or Link summoning if you need to. It's not super important that you have this specific attack boost anymore. So, you know, I'm not missing the third one too much. I like it at 2. We'll just show the last 2 monsters here. I got 2 Ghost Ogre. The only reason it's Ghost Ogre and not one of the other ones is because it's my favorite of the hand traps. Its effect is pretty useful still too. You know, discard when an effect on the field is activated, pop that card. I would probably play Ash if you were going to pick something that was better. I just like playing this because it's, like I said, my favorite of the Ghost Girls, and I like to flex those alties. For our spells, we got triple Pot of Desires. Desires is awesome in this deck now because the only thing you need to have is Torifun to really get your combos going. Everything else is kind of replaceable. They can all act as each other as long as you have one of the Beast or Beast Warrior Bujingis and one of your, Beast or Wing Beast Bujingis or one of your Beast Warrior Bujins in your deck. Torifun can resolve, and so getting it to your hand is pretty important. So Pot of Desires, liking it. Triple Tenki, same thing. We're trying to get that Torifun to hand as fast as possible. The extra 100 attack is sometimes cool too. Then we got Forbidden Droplet. Pretty self-explanatory. Negate effects, cut attacks in half, all that kind of stuff. Really good. And, you know, it can potentially combo with that Susanoo. If you discard a bunch of stuff, cut all the attacks in half, and then Susanoo attacks all of them. Kind of cool to do some crazy damage there. Double Twin Twister, rather. Destroy some back row. You want to try to really eliminate your opponent's ability to cut your combos in half, you know, to like stop you. Then we got the 1 Bujin Carnation, the comeback card. If you have nothing on the field, you get one of your banished and one of your graveyarded Bujins back to the field, and then you're going to Xyz summon with them immediately. So the 1 of is good. It kind of mirrors like effects that some of the other stuff already kind of does in the deck, and so it's just, you already have the setup there, so why not play it? Double or Nothing, because we play Utopia, Foolish Burial to set up the graveyard, and Called by the Grave to try to not get wrecked by hand traps or you know, other similar cards. And that'll finish up the spells. And then for the traps, pretty simple. We got 1 Infinite Impermanence, and then triple Solemn Strike. Kind of the same as most of that spell lineup. You want to stop your opponent from being able to create a huge board or to create a board that has a lot of negates on it. So you want to slow them down as best you can. These are the ones that I find to be most powerful and most effective in achieving that goal. Then we'll get into the extra deck here. First off, we got the Link monster, the newest extra deck monster, Bujinki Ahashima. So it's summoned off of 2 level 4s. And when it's summoned, you're going to summon 2 monsters with the same level from your, 1 from your hand, 1 from your graveyard. I'm sorry, it's not two level 4s. It's just 2 monsters with the same level. But in this deck, it's level 4s. Because everything is level 4 except for Ghost Ogre. So level 4 is on the mind. But then it'll summon your 2, and then I would usually Xyz summon into the zone it points to here, and then use like Susanoo's effect to detach and search, or detach and dump 1 to the graveyard, and then use this thing's effect because it's pointing to a monster that activated its effect to pop a spell or trap on the opponent's side of the field, similar to those Twin Twisters and the Centipede. Then Susanoo. So recently, I think it might be a good plan to bump this up to 3 and maybe either cut that down to 1 or cut something else that you don't think you're going to need at all, because this thing is the heart and soul of your extra deck. Summon it to detach. You can search one of your Bujins from deck to hand or send one from the deck to the graveyard, so it does whatever you need to set up for either extending the combo or protecting yourself or making his attack really big. Whatever it is, this thing is the best. Then we got Kagetsuchi. On summon, it will mill 5 and then gain 100 attack for every Bujin card that was milled, that's spell, trap, or monster. That's usually sort of relevant. You'll get like 1 to 3, I find, like on average, extra cards in graveyard, so 1 to 300 extra attack, putting him at 26 to 2800. If you have a Tenki on board, you're putting him close to 3k. What makes him really good is he can detach material to prevent one of your Bujins from being destroyed that turn, for being destroyed in that instance, rather. So really good for like big beater that can defend itself, or just put him on board to defend one of your other ones that you need more or want to keep around more. Tsukiyomi, I use this guy just pretty much as a rank up to kind of like try to reload the hand. So I'll play my hand down to 1 card, rank up into this thing, and then effect detach to discard the card in my hand and draw 2 more. Usually results in getting something that I can use. And then the other more common rank up monster, the Bujinki Ahashima. So you detach 1 to special summon 1 from the banish zone to your side of the field on your turn, or you can on your opponent's turn detach 1 to grab 1 from your graveyard, put it back in your hand. So kind of like Susanoo in reverse, you know, it helps you either pull something back to use again, or put something back on your field or whatever. So probably the main target for the rank up. Then for non-Bujins, we got number 106 Giant Hand. Just like the card, want to be able to play it. Just effect negation, I guess. Utopia double and Utopia, because we play double or nothing, and it's just extra damage we can put on board. We play the 1 Zeus for kind of like the reset button, and then the tiny Zeus, Exciton Knight rather. So just board wipes, essentially, to try to reset if you get too far behind. And then we got Tornado Dragon for back row hate, Abyss Dweller for graveyard hate, and then 101 Silent Honor Arc, because just to steal special summon monsters, I guess. And he can stall pretty good if you don't steal anything. You put him in defense mode, detach whenever he would be destroyed. You can kind of like maybe squeeze yourself out an extra turn. He would probably get cut if I needed to cut something. Yeah, so if we're doing a third Susanoo, it's either going to do Ahashima or 101 is going to be going bye-bye. But that will round out the deck. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this deck profile with me. I've loved this deck for so long, and just to be able to see it go through evolutions and find new ways to play in 2021 has just been awesome. So hopefully you guys give it a try and enjoy it as much as I have. But until next time, see you.